It's tuning time for Blizzard, and this round is wild. I'm not sure what I was expecting for tuning, but it certainly wasn't this. So let's review the changes and how it's going to impact Retribution Paladin heading into the expansion launch. A preemptive note here, tuning for Midnight is far from over, and we will continue to see changes over the coming weeks and really through the beginning of Season 1. Nothing is set in stone, and one set of patch notes can have massive repercussions, like this one. These tuning changes we're going to cover are hero talent specific, and there are no adjustments that impact Retribution as a whole. As of right now, Retribution has been a lower performer, at least as far as output goes on both the beta and certainly pre-patch. But I want to discuss these changes outside of the number go up mindset. Aura buffs are usually Blizzard's preferred tuning knob mid-season, but these buffs today are more design choices than anything else. Let's start with the Templar changes. First up is a sizable Hammer of Light buff. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Hammer of Light is the best feeling spell to press in the game, and anytime it does more damage, I'm happy with it. From my limited testing, Hammer of Light is contributing roughly 10 to 15% of our DPS, and I think that's probably a healthy spot for it to be. It should be a punchy hit, and the additional 30% damage definitely achieves that. This does only impact the single target hit, but I don't think this spell needed more AoE baked into it. Undisputed Ruling also got a decent buff. An extra 2 seconds on the duration is an unquestionable positive. However, I do wish that this buff could be extended instead of just refreshed to the full duration. Let's be real here. There is a world where we could hold our Hammer of Light procs to get more uptime on Undisputed Ruling. And I don't think that gameplay loop would be a net positive for the class. It isn't a major deal breaker, and we don't know for certain, but I did feel it was worthy of mentioning. And so here's where things start to get a bit wild. Seal of the Templar went from a 15% buff all the way to a 25% buff. That is a lot just for a choice node in a hero talent tree. Templar's Verdict was already our highest contributor to damage in a single target encounter, and it can be upwards of 25% of our damage. I will say Blade of Justice does some weird stuff with expurgation, but for the most part, Templar's Verdict, it's the big thing. We'll get into the impact of this change in a little bit, but there are some unintended problems with this that I think Blizzard missed. But before we do that, let's move on to the Herald of the Sun changes, and this Dawnlight buff was desperately needed. For being a core part of Herald of the Sun, Dawnlight was doing about 5% of our total damage on single target. That is incredibly lacking. Buffing it by 120% should put it closer in line with Hammer of Light if we're comparing it 1-to-1. It will probably sit around 10 to 11% of our single target damage, give or take. The next change relates to how Dawnlight does AoE. It may seem like a nerf here, but the reality is it's actually going to be an overall buff. Since Dawnlight is now going to be 120% stronger, it would be equal to if the original version was spreading 11% of its damage. This adjustment just made Dawnlight substantially stronger on single target, but only slightly stronger on AoE. It's actually a smart way to tune the ability. And the last note here relates to Sun's avatar. This part of the hero talent has been a little bit buggy through beta, and so I want to stress that this is a bug fix. But it comes at a cost. It's going to make this capstone for Herald of the Sun significantly less impactful. It's going to cut the capstone damage practically in half. That's pretty weighty and will definitely be felt. I personally prefer the weight of Herald of the Sun to be consolidated into Dawnlight rather than Sun's avatar. So as long as everything else ends up tuned appropriately, it shouldn't be a major issue, but if Blizzard misses the mark during the rest of tuning, Herald of the Sun is in deep trouble. As I alluded to earlier, these changes do have some serious impacts. The balance between Herald of the Sun and Templar was closer, and with it slightly leaning towards Templar, these changes will almost certainly push Templar to being the preferred option. I know a lot of folks were looking forward to dabbling in Herald of the Sun. I mean, you can still play it, but at least with this balance pass, it's starting to fall behind. The Templar changes are mostly good, but I do have one major problem here. Seal of the Templar puts our damage in the right place, but by the wrong talent. Let me elaborate. The choice is currently between a 25% damage boost to our primary spender or about 3 extra judgments worth of damage every minute, every 30 seconds if you choose to take Quicken Invocation. Doing some very rough math, you would need between 6 to 7 Templar Verdict casts to surpass the damage benefit from Divine Exaction in a 1-minute window. Guess what? You pass that in your opener before the 20-second mark. There are a ton of other factors that do go into this, but you get the idea. And I would normally not be bothered by a choice node not really being a choice, but this time it's frustrating. Divine Exaction is fun. It checks all the boxes for a cool talent you'd really want to pick up. But the reality is, taking 25% Templar's Verdict damage is just too good. And when the rubber hits the road, you're going to pick what does the best damage. And there's more to this problem too. Because our Templar's Verdict hits harder than before, we now get even more value out of Divine Resonance. Taking Divine Resonance allows us to spend faster during Avenging Wrath, which is a large part of our damage. I'm an advocate for actual choice in my choice nodes, and at least as far as single target goes, this singular change removed 2 potential choices from talent builds. Quicken Invocation and Divine Exaction can potentially still see play on full AoE encounters. Quicken Invocation does trigger Divine Hammer, which is a good chunk of AoE damage. If you're never going to press Final Verdict, Divine Exaction is a perfectly acceptable choice. But if you're gonna press it, Seal of the Templar is what's gonna be best. And I know it's too late to make talent tree changes now, but in the future, I'd like to see Divine Exaction make its way into the specialization tree. It could very easily replace something like Empyrean Legacy or Sanctify, or it could even just be a new node. Some way to get that in a tree because it is fun, and I think fun is one of the reasons we play this game. Somewhat related, I do also have concerns with our 2-target cleave. Seal of the Templar puts more and more weight in Templar's Verdict, and that can imbalance, at least on 2 targets, the damage between Templar's Verdict and Divine Storm. With current tuning, at least for Templar, Divine Storm may not be our preferred spender on 2 targets. And in my opinion, it should always be tuned so that we Divine Storm on 2 targets. It just makes sense. If you're doing AoE encounters, use your AoE spender. But we'll see. It's not my choice. So that's the quick tuning wrap up. We're just a few weeks out from midnight, and I'll keep you posted on any and all updates to Retribution. A further note, my UI is always available for free. All information on how to download it can be found in my Discord, and the link is in the description below. Joining the Discord also gets you access to Retribution-specific resources and some other content. For those who want to support the channel further, check out the Patreon page linked below. Members get some cool benefits like log reviews, UI support, blog updates, and something cool I whipped up called Jesir Radio. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future updates. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.